right, it's good to be here this morning. I am passionate about where you guys are. How many guys are transitioning right now? Pretty much. And then I'm guessing we have some guys that have already started something up, got some businesses going or something like that. Very cool. All right, so the first thing I want to cover real quick is I don't consider myself some world-class entrepreneur. All right, guys, I'll just cut that right now. I think, if I had 5 businesses under my belt in 30 plus years, maybe I could go as far to make that claim, all right? Right now, I consider myself kind of a baby in this business, if you will, but we have been pretty successful. So I do want to talk to you guys about something that we all talk about in special forces, SEAL teams, whatever, lessons learned, what we've learned. And hopefully you guys can take something from me, put it in your tool bag, and as you're going out and you're conquering, hopefully it'll help you maybe not make some of the mistakes that we've made, all right? One of the cool, as you guys can see, this is my website, right? We're not curing world cancer here or, world hunger or anything. We make bottle openers and we make gifts, right? But the coolest thing about this journey, if you guys do choose to embark on entrepreneurship, is that basically the possibilities, the only thing that stifles it is your imagination. You can do anything you want. There is no blueprint. There is no, hey, this is how you have to do it. I'm going to go through how we've done it, but please don't by any means think that I think that that's the only way there is to do it. I'm just going to give you some of the stuff that we've learned, all right? Just so you guys know a little bit about me, and I want to make this really clear, I barely graduated high school, okay? And it wasn't because I was stupid. It was because I really didn't care. This guy's up here talking about chemistry and physics, and I'm the kid in your class that's thinking to myself, how's this going to affect me, right? And that's one of the coolest things I found about entrepreneurship is that you don't have to be that 50-pound brain in the room, all right? You don't have to ace your SATs. You don't have to be that guy that, graduated with some fancy MBA, all right? What you have to have is you have to have a lot of street smarts. You have to be willing to work hard, and you have to know how to build a team, okay? Because if you guys really want to, go as far and as high as you can, there's no better way to do it than owning your own business. There's a lot of truth to, what we talk about. You'll hear this saying a lot of times that employers will pay you just enough to where you don't leave, and people that have jobs will work hard enough just to where they don't get fired. Anybody ever heard that? There's a lot of truth to it. And personally, when I look around at the guys in this room, I don't think you guys should be fighting over scraps. If you think for a second that it's not going to take hard work, you're absolutely wrong, all right? When I started this business, I was at NSW Trade where's Canfield at? Right here. I was working with this guy. A couple guys in this room that I've worked with in the past, and we would do our thing. We would instruct operators during the day. I would go home, help my wife put the kids to bed, baths, bedtime, the whole 9, and then I would go out to the garage until the wee hours of the morning and work on my business. Weekends, there were no weekends, and that's something that if you want this life, if you want to do something like this, you're going to have to realize you're going to have to sacrifice a certain level of balance in your life for a certain period of time. But it's not like we haven't done that before, right? What's cool about the internet, guys? It gives the little guys like you and me the opportunity to play with the big boys. We just have to learn how to use this tool, right? I can't even imagine 20 years ago trying to sell bottle openers and gifts and start that as a business. But now, if we learn how to leverage that tool, we can fish in the ocean. Proving your concept means that you have to prove to people that you can actually sell this thing. You have to be bringing money in. This is one of the biggest ones. I don't care if you're watching Shark Tank or you're just talking to your buddy that's got a great idea. This is one that entrepreneurs screw up all the time. They'll get the market research and they'll come and they'll tell you, hey man, in this section of New York, there's 75,000 people that fall into this demographic, and this is why we're going to be successful here. Yeah, all that research is great. Do all that research, but you don't have jack until you prove your concept. I like using the terminology that most of us learn in special operations: crawl, walk, run. Okay, I like making sure that my ducks are in a row before I go talk to people. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people go the other way. They just go out, they find investors, they fund an idea, they start bringing on a team, and that's one way to do it, okay? And a lot of people have been successful doing it. Personally, I really don't like that, because if I'm going to borrow money from somebody, I want to be damn sure I'm going to be able to pay them back. And if you're not able to prove if you don't prove your concept first, it happens all the time. Okay, follow the green, not the dream. All right, follow where the money is. Follow the money. And sometimes that's hard for us because we want what we want, and we're so damn determined that a lot of times we'll stay in a business that's really not doing anything for 10 or 15 years just because we're so convinced that we can do it. And maybe you get that thing off the ground, and if you do, good for you. But just one of my rules: follow the green, not the dream. But if you want to do this, if you want to go big again, if you want to swing for the fences, you will have to take calculated risk. Like tomorrow, I'm supposed to be on Stuart Varney's show, okay? Fox Business, #1 show. Every single time I go on Fox News, the last time I went on Fox News, it was bigger than the Shark Tank in sales, right? And if you're not ready for that, if you don't have the inventory on hand, you're screwed. And you got a lot of pissed off customers that may never come back, okay? So it's like right now, me and my team, while I'm up in New York, are thinking about, all right, how much of this do we order? How much of this do we make? Where do we put our capital? And it's just calculated risk every single day. If you're not willing to do it, this isn't a good place. But most of us are good at doing this, right? Most of us, we never know on an op what's going to happen. How many guys have ever gone on an op that went to plan? Right? Leave the wire, comms are down, sweet. What are we going to do? We're just going to shift. We're going to figure it out, right? I know you guys are great at doing that. So I talked about selling my bike and how that was honestly probably the best financial decision I've ever made, okay? Like I said, remember this, guys, I sold a liability and I bought an asset. It was a used engraver. It was a 1-for-1 swap, but just that one little sacrifice right there took my business and grew it by 300%. And it showed me this is going to be a lot more than supplemental income. Fast forward 1 year, instead of doing $22,000 a month out of that one-car garage, we were doing $80,000 a month out of that one-car garage, okay? And that's when I pitched the Shark Tank. When he was talking about, hey, did your wife give you a timeline? Not really. And one of the reasons she did was because I could always point to the numbers. And I would say, babe, I know this sounds ridiculous, but we are going to get out and we are going to sell bottle openers. That's what we're going to do. And I need your help, right? Because my wife was a business major, and she's strong in a lot of areas that I'm weak. And that'll be one thing that's a resounding theme is you guys start to build your empire or your business, you will have to surround yourself with people that are strong with where you're weak, all right? When I started this company, what I would do is the first thing I did was I went to work, found some 50 caliber brass, came home, took a cloth measuring tape, I took it around, and then I drew the cutout that I designed with the Sharpie. It took me 7 minutes to do each one, and then I take it, I put it in a vise, I take a Dremel tool, and I'd go in and cut it, and then I'd grind it down, then I'd spray paint it, and then I'd polish it. And you know what? When I look back on the first bottle breachers, they look like crap. They did, but people still bought them, right? And so what I do at that point, what I do is then I'd go and I'd find where I could buy more online. So I'd buy 10 of them at a time, and I'd make those 10, and then I'd sell them. And I'd take the profit from that, and I'd buy 20. And it got to the point where I was like, oh, I get a price break if I buy 100 of them. Sweet. So instead of spending $3.50 on, each dummy round, now I'm going to buy 100 of them, and I'm going to spend $2.50. And now we buy hundreds of thousands of them at a time. And it's that crawl, walk mentality, guys. It's that organic growth mentality. What's our number one enemy? We've talked about it, running out of cash. What's one of the best ways that we don't get in over our heads and run out of cash? Organic growth. Okay? Now that means that my desk right now is still my old kitchen table. You know what? I don't care. If I could teleport you guys down to Tucson, Arizona right now, at Bottle Breacher headquarters, you guys would be like, this place looks kind of shitty, to be honest with you. Yeah, it does. You know what? Because I'm not concerned with how it's not a retail location. I'm not concerned with how it looks. I'm concerned with buying assets or things that are going to make us more money. CNC machines, lathes, engravers, all sorts of machinery, all sorts of people running around, making products. That's what I'm concerned with. And that's the organic growth that I'm going to keep, harping to you guys on. And one of the coolest things about social media is what I can do is I can have an idea in the morning, give it to one of my graphic designers, be like, hey, I love the band Led Zeppelin. let's go ahead and I want you to take the Led Zeppelin logo. I want you to take that guy with, you know, the cool rocker, and I want you to put an M60 in his hand. And then I want you to, instead of Led Zeppelin, let's make it Led Slingin'. Okay? And I want you to have that done by 10 o'clock, and I want you to give me a couple renditions of it. A couple hours later, she walks in with a thumb drive. I walk over to my t-shirt machine, plug it in, print it out. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I put it on, snap a shameless selfie, put it on Instagram, and instantly I'm able to get customer feedback on what they think. They think it sucks, we never produce the shirt, we never go live with it. If they think it's great, yeah, I like that, I'll take one of them. That's how you can use social media within a day to see if people like your ideas, right? And we do it all the time with new products.